The other thing I'll say too is, I'm the sort of youngest editor at Vertigo, so I'm sort of developing my voice. I have a hit with American Vampire, so maybe you don't know what my voice is yet, but I'm also probably the guy to pitch because I'm looking for the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So that's part of doing your research too, is looking for who's the guy who's hungry. Me, I'm hungry. Come talk to me.
You guys are looking like.
It's like you're looking for the next person to kind of make, do definitive voice on Wolverine. You're always looking for the next. Like you've got a great run, but you know that things are going to change, and you're going to be looking for someone new. I realize that. I would say I actually got a great advice from you at one stage. And remember you saying if you're working professionally, if it's good and it's in on time, or if not early, you'll be fine. And I really stuck to that. Like I make sure myself's in, if not a week early, then a few days early, and then my editor never needs to bother me, never needs to say where are the pages. He'll have them, and he knows he'll have them, and then my life is less stressful, and his life is less stressful.
Yeah, that's another big thing. Being early is wonderful. Your editors will fall all over you. We love it because it means we don't have to chase you down. But another big thing, a huge thing, is communication. Is talking to your editor, building a relationship with them, talking to your writer, talking to your team. I firmly believe that comics is a collaborative process, and you have to have your team talking to each other. You need people to be able to work together. I don't care if you don't, going back, I don't care that if you don't like each other all that much, but as long as you can work together and you can create a product that you're proud of and that you can put out the door, preferably on time, that's a great thing. But when you are, if you are fortunate enough to get to work on a project with someone, that maybe you're a writer and you finally got in touch with an artist and you've got an artist working with you, talk to them. Get to know them, get their likes, their dislikes, their influences, and actually have some sense of what they're about. So that may actually help inform your writing, or as an artist, figuring out kind of what kind of writers that you like working with, or what you need to be able to succeed, and try to bring that to whatever collaboration you find yourself in. When you're working at one of the bigger companies, like actually having an editor, your editor is your advocate. Your editor is there to help you. Your editor is there to, make your, well, not you, not you. Your editor wants your book to succeed, and all the things that we do, at least that in my experience that we do is to make sure that your book looks as good as possible, reads as well as possible, so that you have the best package going out. Because at the end of the day, we want the book to succeed. We want it to sell. We want people to buy it. So any of the the issues and different problems and whatnot that crop up naturally during the process. That's something like with that collaborative process that you need to make sure that if you have a problem, you talk about it. If you're going to be late, let your editor know, let your writer know, let your artist know, whatever. But don't just disappear into the ether.
That just causes problems for you. Or if they told you they're going to be late, you can say, well, we can figure something out. But if they don't, then you're in trouble.
Yeah, we want to. We realize that people are human, and things crop up, and there are mudslides and tornadoes, and dogs doing crazy things, and family members that get sick. Like, stuff happens. What's important is that you're responsible enough to let the people who need to know, and to figure out another way to get your work done.
The road to comics is littered with the bodies of those who have not met deadlines, or who have pissed off editors, or who just came and rested on their laurels. And it's your attitude in terms of communication, in terms of personality, in terms of being able to hit deadlines, in terms of keeping everything, your career in mind, and doing what's right for your career, but also doing what's right by the rest of your creative team, like they were just saying, and especially your editor, is what's going to help out. And I always like to give the anecdote, that we always say that Marvel is a family, but the truth of the matter is the comics industry itself is a family. We don't just do this as a job. We live and breathe comics. I mean, we work from 9 to 5 or 9 to 9, but comics is really, at least there's a quote on my wall that says, comics is like the ER, it's 24/7. We are always living and breathing comics. Yeah. And it's like, we hang out at Marvel, we work all day, and then we go and we drink. On the weekends, we go to Nick Blow's Pig Roast, and we're just saying, you go hang out with Scott Snyder and his wife. Lauren's going to London, she's going to hang out with Kieran and Chrissy. We become friends, we become family. We are a part of each other's lives in more ways than just the job. And that's the people that we want to hire. We're apt to hire people who we think can join that family, who are on the same wavelength as us, who have just as positive attitude as they have good talent or voice creatively.
If I had to say, like, Lauren will correct me if I'm not full of shit on this one, but it's like, if I had to say, why I haven't been sacked, or why I've still got work in comics, it's like I tend to solve more problems than I create, and that's kind of like stuff goes wrong all the time because that's life. And then can you look at a solution in Deadline to put a caption in the right place and somehow make the story make sense?
Don't give someone a reason not to hire. Like, don't give them a headache. Why they're not going to want to work.
So don't give somebody a reason not to work with you, be it like personally or especially professionally. Because if you're a headache to deal with, then not really. Even if you're the most amazing artist, I think some editors will probably put up with it because you're really, really good. But why even be that way if you can have both to make it easier on each other? But I would say another thing is think long term. Like I remember I was doing UK graphic novels. I paid really well, but I didn't take more. I did work for like Boom. The rate was not good, but I knew that in a year's time, I'd have a lot of work out in the States, and that's what I wanted. I wanted, Marvel, DC to see my stuff. They weren't going to see it on the UK graphic novels. And although they paid well, that's short-term thinking. I could make money that year, but what about the next year? So I deliberately took a huge pay cut, and the hope that it would pay off in the long term. So it's good to think long term, like where do you want to be in 5 years? Do you want to be writing Wolverine, or do you want to be doing stuff with Dark Horse? It's good to have a goal, because at least having a goal, you work towards it. If you don't have a goal, you're just going to be doing scripts and leaving them in the drawer.
Sorry, as a creative, it's a question of who do you want to be? And you ask yourself, why I'm in this? I want to break into comics. Why do I want to break into comics? What have I got to say? Why on earth are we bothering doing this in the first place? And that's kind of that's how the work stays vital. And otherwise, it sort of sits dead, and you sort of end up being battered around by the industry. And why are you doing this?
There's loads of. No, I heard you sorry.
There's loads of writers and artists who just wanted to do, draw like somebody or write like somebody, and then they did, and then they just disappeared. They didn't have any long-term goals. Sorry.
Come on. I let the next cover in the air.
I'm in the market for a new cover artist. Another thing, going back on with Declan, with his talking about planning and talking about what he wanted to spend his time on when he felt it was most worthwhile. Another thing, as you start your comics journey, as you when you decide that comics is where you want to make your living, figuring out what you're actually physically capable of doing, and being honest with yourself, because we have a lot of we have a lot of new talent that we'll bring in, and we'll be really excited about them, and they want to do, they want to impress, they want to do the work, they want to put out the books and get more work, but then oftentimes find themselves with more than they can handle, and I will tell you right now, it can be vital to know your limitations, and just because you say no does not mean that you will not get work. Being able to say no can very often guarantee that you will get work in the future, because you know that you're not capable of doing 10 books a month. Being able to actually weigh carefully the workload that you have, and really being reasonable with yourself. Like, wow, I've been offered, Spider-Man and Wolverine and this crazy little book called, Journey to Mystery or whatever. But can I do all of those? What have I already taken on? What have I already committed to? And what will that, reasonably, what can I actually take on? And will my work suffer from me having too much work?